Good Friday evening, folks. Hope you guys are all doing well. Thanks for tuning in. And here is the build progress video for the Revell 1966 Chevy Malibu Gasser. So I chose to do the black one with the flame package. And let's go ahead and go through all the things. Let's start with the engine here. So here's the 427 engine. I painted it in a can of Rust-Oleum Chevy engine orange, or you know the color. So yeah, that's what I did the block in, and then I went ahead and did the velocity stacks and the upper part of the carbs here. I did that in a Rust-Oleum metallic aluminum. I thought it was better. I did some touch-ups there because I had to sand in order to get the lower intake manifold to go down. Where I probably screwed up, I put the heads on and then lined them up first. But I'm thinking now that it wouldn't have made any difference because I still would have had a clearance problem with the intake manifold. So that's what I did. I sanded it as best I could, and I just got to a point where I just said this is just going to have to do. So I ended up doing some touch-ups. You can see where I accidentally got some orange on the edge there, so I can clean it up. It's just craft paint, so looks pretty good. I do like the front cover there. I didn't paint the timing cover and the water pump in the orange like the instructions suggested. I thought it looked fine the way it was, so I just left it. You see the alternator in there. There's your belt and pulleys and your fan. So the headers I did in a semi-gloss white by Rust-Oleum. I thought they looked good. The reason why they're marked right there is because I was putting them in the front end here, and they rubbed it a little bit on the side here, so that's why. But you're not going to see them, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, this engine doesn't have very much to show, especially on a block. There's the starter, and there's your front bar there with the I think that's your tie rod end with the rubber boots. So yeah, that's the motor with the transmission. The bell housing on this was chrome, and I was like, no, I'm not doing a chrome bell housing, no way. So I cleaned it up, and then I sanded it, and then I primered it in black primer, and then I put the transmission in it together as one and painted it in the bright aluminum. So that's the engine. And then here is the let's see, grab it here. Here's the front axle. Again, chrome, and I wasn't digging it. I said, no, we'll just do it in a bright aluminum. It looks a lot better to me. And then, of course, I did the shocks in red. And those are decals that go on the shocks. You can see the other side there. Yeah, there's the other decal. The decals looked a little sloppy, but it's okay. So, excuse me. And of course, there's your radiator. I did the radiator cap, and here's your firewall with the walls that the engine goes in with the leaf springs. I just left the leaf springs as is, and I did a little bit of detail on the firewall, the wiring, and all that good stuff. It looks pretty good for what it is. I did this in a bright silver by Rust-Oleum. All right, let's go ahead and go to the chassis. And so here's the chassis. Now keep in mind, this is my first Gasser, as I've stated in the post. So yeah, I did pretty good. There's your dash. I did the dash in a semi-gloss black. Same with the steering wheel. The interior tub I did in a flat gray, like a matte gray by Krylon. And then I used the racing seats, and of course I did the roll bar in a Rust-Oleum toolbox red. And there is the fire extinguisher. I just dropped it down in there, and I put the decal on this afternoon. So yeah, for what it is, it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. It looks like a Gasser would look, or or a drag racer. There's your rear tires. On the underside here, I detailed the frame rails, and then the axle, I just painted black, and of course the differential cover I left chrome. I thought that was appropriate, you know. The rear coil springs, oh my goodness, the rear coil springs on this thing were a pain, and it's the engineering, from what I could tell. The way that they sit at an angle. And when I was getting ready, I glued them in first, and then when I was getting ready to install the rear axle, and then I was installing these bars here, nothing would line up properly, so I ended up having to pull the coils out, and then I just installed the bars here first, and then the axle, and then the axle was just floating, and then eventually I was able to get the springs back into position and get everything all lined up. It was a fight, but I got it there. So yeah, one of the other tires fell off. The decals on the tires came out pretty well. I like them. The wheels, again, I wasn't digging the mirror chrome, so I brought them down to metallic aluminum. I think they look more appropriate. I just think they look better. I would have done that to a race cars too, you know, because they're not chrome usually. I was having an issue when I was doing the front. One of my BF Goodrich decals just disappeared when I was getting ready to install it on this tire. So this tire just says radial TA on it, and that decal was also scrunched and all that. It was just a bad situation there. So that's just how it's going to look. It's going to be missing on this front tire here. So, you know, all in all, everything came out pretty good. I'm happy with it. You know, not bad for my first Gasser build. Let's see. Okay, let's go to the hood. And there's your hood that tilts down with your blower, you know, or cover, whatever the hell it is. Yeah, I'm not a expert on these at all. The decals, the flame decals, were a fight on mine. They, no matter how much water I put onto the hood, they would not slide when I wanted them to, and they would wrinkle. You can actually see where this one tore there. So yeah, it is what it is. It looks good, you know, regardless. Yes, I know these are off center. Again, I was having issues with getting them, you know, to conform and all that stuff, so that's why it looks funny on top of the hood. But again, it is what it is. Hopefully the next one I do like that will be better, you know. Yeah, there's your hood, there's the buttons and all that good stuff. So yep, that's the hood. Looks good to me. Here's the body, and there's the, you know, there's the flame decals. I gotta clean it up. Back there it says Super Sport, and there's your side pipes and all that good stuff. But yeah, the body for the most part came out good. So, and not too much, nothing spectacular there. And then I just finished up the rear bumper and the taillight panel there. So yeah, so that's the gist of the Gasser build pretty much. Now we're ready to button it up and, you know, do the final reveal on it. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I would recommend this kit, but also, you know, it is an older kit, so it's going to have its issues like most of them. And if you're going to do the black one with the flames, just beware that yours could, you know, be a pain too, like mine were. So yeah, but hey, again, it looks good. I'm happy with it. So so yeah, stay tuned for the final reveal, and we'll go from there. Enjoy the video. All right, we'll talk soon.